with you? I'm not talking about the Israeli government. I'm talking about you guys who are still silent because you don't want to lose your sponsor.
And how fucking dare anyone out there make fun of Britney after all she's been through? She lost her aunt. She went through a divorce. She had 2 fucking kids. Her husband turned out to be a user, a cheater, and now she's going through a custody battle. All you people care about is readers and making money off of her.
People are burning right now. Their bodies. Can you imagine the smell? There were just rumors of babies being beheaded by Hamas. No one saw pictures. These were just rumors, and the world went crazy. But there are photos and pictures of beheaded babies in Rafah.
She's a human! What you don't realize is that Britney's making you all this money, and all you do is write a bunch of crap about her. She hasn't performed on stage in years. Her song is called Give Me More for a reason, because all you people want is more, 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 more! Leave her alone!
The beheaded babies should draw the line for us all. And if it hasn't drawn a line for you, you're cooked. You're cooked. I'm not crazy. You're crazy because you're not doing anything and you think this is normal. Me right now, this is normal behavior. Yeah, you're not acting normal. You can see that stuff and stay silent. You're crazy. You should lose your mind. In fact, if you're not gonna lose your mind, I urge you, unfollow me and freaking block me. Because you're a psychopath and I don't want to be around.
You just witnessed the outrageous intellectual laziness and moral arrogance of the simpletons in the radical left. This lady is so arrogant to think that other people except her like children to die in horrible ways. But we choose to let them die because we want our sponsors to give us money. So imagine the insanity. What kind of insane presuppositions this moron has in the back of her mind. So this mental disintegration comes from Marxist-type lazy explanations of human behavior, exclusively with oppress versus oppressor narratives. For these simpletons, everything in this world can be explained with teleology. What is teleology? This comes from a Greek word, telos και logos. In other words, agency is behind everything. So, conspiracies are behind everything. In other words, everything in this world can be explained with agency, which is a logical fallacy. Okay, we have the natural world, we have physical circumstances. Okay, also for these simpletons in the radical left, the underdog, Hamas or the proletarian in the Marxist theory, is always innocent and can only be victim. So, if you notice, her analysis is blaming only the West. Hamas, no blame whatsoever. You are not outraged with Hamas, what they ever did. Okay, so that is simply pathetic. But there is a danger here. If the West deteriorates to this type of leftist mindset, the West is doomed, guys. Doomed. This lady is like a sitting duck for dictators and terrorists to conquer. Like a sitting duck. The most easiest task in the world. Let me repeat that. If the West deteriorates to this radical leftist mindset, forget the Western civilization. Okay, the most easy, the most easy task is to conquer the West. They just would need to walk in, and they will give them candies. Okay, so the West is doomed with this kind of mindset.
We're the terrorists! You mock my hijab! You curse my prophet! You insult and use my scripture! You step on, spit, and burn my holy book! You insult my God! You kill my people!
There is negativity against Islam and Muslims in the West. That is true. What is also true is that Europe did an excellent job accommodating Muslims. Europe opened its arms and welcomed millions of Muslim refugees who enjoy equal civil rights and opportunities as Europeans. Note, in an Islamic state, Europeans are second-class citizens. In Europe, Muslims enjoy and most often abuse social benefits. Note that in an Islamic state, non-Muslims pay the jizya, which is a protection racket made to boost the livelihood of Muslims, okay, and humiliate non-Muslims. And of course, Muslims in Europe can practice their religion freely, have thousands of mosques, and freedom to proselytize with dawah. In an Islamic state, you cannot renovate or build churches, you cannot proselytize, and have all kinds of restrictions against other faiths. So, as Douglas Murray said, it's not Europe that failed its Muslims, are Muslims that failed Europe.
Tariq says that Europeans associate Islam with violence. There is some truth in that. There is also a very obvious reason for that, which is that Islam is associated with violence. I'd argue that Europe has done not too badly, considering the circumstances. In the middle of the last century, there was an almost negligible Muslim presence in Europe. At the turn of the 21st, in Western Europe alone, there were 15 to 17 million Muslims. That's a very fast migration, ladies and gentlemen, one of the fastest in human history. And no society would find it easy to deal with that kind of migration. As it happens, European societies, Western European societies have, I think, dealt with this much better than some would. Certainly, Muslims coming to live in Britain and in Western Europe enjoy more rights and better rights, among them freedom of worship, than they do in any Islamic country in the earth here today. This is a fundamental problem, and it's one we're going to have to deal with. It's a problem between a society, Western Europe, that believes that laws are based on reason, and Islam that believes that they are based on revelation. Between these two ideas, I'm not sure there is very much compromise for Europe. It is not Europe that has let down its Muslims, but the Muslims of Europe that have let down Europe.
This young woman outrage implies that the negativity against Muslims in the West is because Westerners are mocking Islam. After all, they are racist and bigots. We attack her hijab because we don't like other people's cultures. And we kill her people because, what, of colonialists, something like that, or because we want to steal their oil. Okay, this is the implication of the outrage of this lady. And yet, we have evidence that the negativity against Islam and Muslims started after 9/11. Before 9/11, me and my father took a trip to Syria, and we drove for 3 hours alone in the desert to reach Palmyra, where ISIS are now. Okay, so those days we didn't have the concept of fear against Muslims. No concept whatsoever. We didn't know what jihad means. Before 9/11, the hijab was considered trendy because of multiculturalism. So if a hijabi woman came to Greece, people didn't say, oh, what's that? The complete opposite. They say, oh, wow, we are trendy. We are multicultural. It was a very positive. We are ethnic. You know, we felt that we are, we are part of the world. This is how people felt before 9/11 with the hijab and even the burqa, especially in UK. I know because I was in UK before 9/11 for 3 years. So all that changed after 9/11 and the tens of thousands of terrorist attacks that followed. Bin Laden was completely successful. He managed to radicalize a whole generation of Muslims. All the Dawa guys, you see now, the popular Dawa guys, are the ideological children of Osama bin Laden. I know it sounds a bit extreme, what I'm saying it sounds extreme, but it's true. Because I remember how I was in Luton, okay? The place that it was the most radical place after 9/11. It was the most radical place in the world. Okay, all the terrorist attacks came from Luton. I was in Luton for 3 years. Before 9/11, even my Pakistani friends, okay, who were Muslims, they weren't, fanatics. They were not traditional. They were hearing music, they were smoking, we were having fun, we were going out. They were Muslim, but they were not, zealots. After 9/11, when Osama bin Laden's plan was completely successful, okay, the Muslim Brotherhood plan, okay, then Muslims became more and more and more zealot, traditional. And now we see Ali Dawa, Mohammed Hijab, all these Muslims who are the ideological children of Osama bin Laden. So what happened in 9/11?
The difference between us and them is that for them, they think life begins. For us, we believe that death begins. We believe that life begins.
So my young yes, pay attention. So you were very young to know this stuff. So pay attention and try to understand, because that is in your favor. The West will survive and will dominate. That's a given. What happened to you is the issue, the only issue. So my young lady, my sweet young lady, I'm not being aggressive, okay, because I understand your grievances. So all started, my young lady, with a guy in Egypt called Hussein al-Banna. So this guy noticed something in his society. He noticed that Western influence is starting to take over the Muslim world and Egypt. How that happened? At this point, the West dominated everything. Music, Coca-Cola, I don't know if McDonald's, I don't know whether this stuff were already, but the Western culture were dominating the Muslim world. And this guy, Hussein al-Banna, didn't like this effect that had the Western culture had to his country, and he decided to make the Muslim Brotherhood. The purpose of the Muslim Brotherhood was to make Muslims remember their ideological roots in Islam and replace the dominance of the Western civilization with the Islamic civilization. Al-Qaeda is the product of the Muslim Brotherhood. Who else are the product of the Muslim Brotherhood? Hamas is the product of the Muslim Brotherhood. So, listen now. Hamas and Al-Qaeda are both the children of the Muslim Brotherhood. So, if you read the ideology of the Muslim Brotherhood, it states that they want to take down the miserable house of the West and replace it with the Islamic, with Islamic domination, with Islamic world order. They don't say, we want to help Palestinians because they suffer and they want human rights and we want to liberate and make a national state called Palestine. These people want to make a caliphate. They hate nation states. Okay, so what happened? Osama bin Laden, okay, who had the Muslim Brotherhood ideology, attacked New York, okay, in order to rally the Muslim Ummah under a common enemy and awake the Muslim Ummah. So, my young lady, all this negativity that you are feeling now comes because some people from your community decided to attack the West. And now, after popular demand, after many thousands, if not tens of thousands, people asked me politely, they were not using violence in their demands. They just use, verbal means. They asked me, please, Socrates Son, we all enjoy, we are listening to your videos just to reach to the end so we can hear your songs. And I said, okay, I will do it. And I hit my hand like that. I will do it. This was one guitar and my cousin and a friend of his. And we make with a telephone. It was good.
Σαν μια ταινία δεν πρόλαβα να δω πως έφτασε στο τέλος. Ακόμα απορώ, έχω στην ψυχή μου απόλυτο κενό κι εσύ που με γεμίζεις δεν είσαι πια εδώ. Αν κράτησες την υπόσχεσή σου να σε δω, το ξέρω πως δεν έφτασα πια να ζω και να ξεχάσω τη χαρά. Στα μάτια σου το βλέπω καθαρά πως δεν μ' αγαπάς. Λάτε και πάρτε με, άνω την αγάπη μου σιγά σιγά. Ξεχάσαμε το όνειρό μας. Θυμάμαι πως κάποτε είχαμε βρει, δεν μετανιώνω, σε αγαπάω. Κι αν τώρα ξεχάσαμε το όνειρό μας, θυμάμαι πως κάποτε είχαμε με βρει μια θέση εκεί στον ουρανό. Εκεί θα σε βρω, άγγελοι, ελάτε και πάρτε με. Κάνω την αγάπη μου σιγά σιγά. Άγγελοι, ελάτε και πάρτε με. Δεν μπορώ να ζω στη σκιά άλλο πια. Άγγελοι, ελάτε και πάρτε με. Κάνω την αγάπη μου σιγά σιγά. Άγγελοι, ελάτε και πάρτε με. Δεν μπορώ να ζω σαν σκιά.